think I'm about to get started. So welcome everybody to our St. Patrick's Day version of sales meeting. For those of you that, I don't normally do the sales meeting. This is very uncomfortable for me. So I'm just pushing my limits here. Leslie's out today and she asked me to do it and I'm excited to do it. So we just have a few things to talk about and then then you can go watch the pre-recorded part of the sales meeting. First of all, today, like I said, we are here at our new Main Street office in Council Bluffs. Very excited about that. And so, but before I was going to tell you all about the Main Street office, and I'm going to tell you about it. But before I really get into it, I'm going to share with you a little bit of the evolution of our offices. Some of this is for people that have never been here before or haven't been to. Somebody accidentally muted me. It's okay. So some of you haven't seen all the offices, and we're growing and then coronavirus has completely screwed us up. So I'm going to give a little slideshow here. Now, bear with me. When I said I threw this together, I really did. And had I thought about this earlier, I would have come up with better photos. But what I'm going to do is share my screen. And here we go. Come on. Here we are. So for those of you that don't know, this company, Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate, started off as Gold Coast Real Estate. It was Tom and Leslie in a house in Dundee. And they had a really good name for themselves. People loved them. I wish I had the picture with the Gold Coast sign in front of it, but that's okay. That's the house. It's still there. We're just not there anymore. So I don't have any interior photos. They were there for years. They loved it. It was where this all started. A couple of really nice houses, thoughts of the house. Well, then when in about 2016, the Good Life Group came along, and we had our own office in the Blackstone district. Oops, come on. Where are we? Why is this doing this? We had an office in the Blackstone district. It was a cute little boutique office, very reminiscent of the offices today, kind of open. It won't let me, because I'm a host, it keeps wanting me to admit people before I can go to the next screen. So this was our office.
Let co-host me and I'll admit people while you're doing that.
They're doing it. They got it. Thanks. So this is our Blackstone office. It was open and very reminiscent of the offices now. Not a lot of private spaces, kind of just shared spaces. We loved it. This was my first attempt at a social media post. It was when we became Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate, the Good Life Group. I took 2 pictures of the offices and put it on social media. And that's where we started. We didn't have any space for office meetings. We had to rent office space at a hotel, for those of you that remember that. Then we decided we needed a space west. So we bought Piccolo's Florist. And they put that sign up for us, coming soon, Better Homes and Gardens. That was awesome. That's what it looked like when we first got it. And it was a shell. We had a lot we had to do to it. As you can see, it was a florist office. Cute. That was our first sales meeting in one of our offices. we rented chairs, we threw them up, and that was our sales meetings. So I think that's kind of fun. That's when we started to open. Obviously, we're still getting some landscaping down. The Good Life Group sign is up. It's looking pretty good. I remember we had several meetings about what that white sign should say. Very excited. There's that sign in the front, just announcing our presence. This was our first marketing thing. So what was happening is the Good Life Group was growing very fast and people kept saying, what's going on over there? What's going on over there? So we did a marketing piece where we were looking in the window, and I think the tagline was, what's going on inside? And that we used that to get going. That was fun.
I'm the one with the big butt.
Yeah. So for those of you that haven't been to Indian Hills, that was our first official office that we opened. That was in 2017. Here's the funny thing. We opened 3 offices in 2017. We went from nothing fast. So we wanted our offices to be pretty. We wanted them to have a good vibe. This is the Indian Hills office. This is the one that we all drive by on Dodge Street and love so much. Again, some of you haven't even seen these offices. That's the reason I'm doing this. This is the conference room at Indian Hills. Kitchen at Indian Hills. Keep on going. Then before we even got Indian Hills opened, we knew that it wasn't far enough west. We needed more. We needed another West Omaha office. And we searched high and low, and we lost out on some spaces that I thank God we didn't get, because the current Lakeside office is so great. So we got the Lakeside office and we started renovating it. And most of you have probably been to our Lakeside office. Obviously, it's our biggest office. Every office has a big living room area like that right there. This is where we used to hold ATAs, for those of you that don't remember. Anyway, so our offices are all intended to be pretty green, open client spaces. When we are back to normal, we want you to use our offices for office spaces and events. That's why they're so pretty. The training room at the Lakeside office, and another room, and the last one, conference room. This is what an ATA used to look like when we used to do them face to face. I just thought I would throw that in there. Someday that will return. Anyway, moving on. So then we had to open Gold Coast. So when we needed a spot south, we knew that was happening so fast. And so we didn't even have really a lot of agents to go into it, but we knew that if we built it, they would come. And so we started building out Gold Coast. For those of you that at the beginning of my conversation, this company originally was called Gold Coast Real Estate. As a matter of fact, that's still our name. We're Gold Coast Real Estate, doing business as Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. And that's the reason we call this our Gold Coast office, and it's on Gold Coast Avenue. Anyway, this Gold Coast office is in Papillion, for those of you that have not been down there. It's a beautiful office in every way, so feel free to stop by and take a look at that anytime you want. Oh, come on, somebody admit that person. Okay, there we are. Come on. Oops. I'm getting messed up because of the admitting people thing. Hold on. There we are. Okay.
Do the fobs work for every office?
Yes, that's part of what I was getting at. They do. So you can go to every office. So then we had Indian Hills, we had Lakeside, we had Gold Coast. And then what we did in 2018, somewhere around there, is that we closed the Blackstone office, and then we merged the Blackstone and Dundee offices to this new Dundee office. Most of you have probably seen that. Looks the part, absolutely beautiful. We love this office. Another time when there were people in the office. The Christmas display at the Dundee office is absolutely fantastic. Oh, I forgot something I was going to say about the Gold Coast office. I'm going to backtrack for just a moment. The Gold Coast office, when we first put that together, we were a little nervous. We didn't have a lot of agents there. We were nervous about the personality, and that office quickly took on a personality of its own. That is a very tight-knit office. You guys are doing really wonderful things. For some reason, that office the agents of that office get locked out all the time. I don't know what it is. It's that office. We are going to be hiding a lockbox for you around that office. So for those of you that keep getting yourselves locked out, I'll be doing that later today, and I'll reach out to the Gold Coast people and let you know where it is, how we hit it, that kind of thing. So anyway, back to the Dundee office. So the Dundee office, it's beautiful at Christmas time. That display it's been a huge hit for the last few years. So please try and stop by next Christmas. I did want to mention the Home Heart team. They have their own satellite office in South Omaha, for any of you that don't know. That it's their office. It's not on a key fob system, 1723 Vinton Street. So anyway, so feel free to stop by there sometime. And now we're at this office. This is our new Main Street office. We call it Main Street because it's on Main Street. Here we are. Come on. Just opening now. You can see it fits the part. It looks like other offices. Even if you're not licensed in Iowa, your key fob does work over here, so you can come and pop in. You just can't sell houses over here. We also have a beautiful basement, and we're ready to grow, ready to keep growing. That is the exciting thing about this office. But then I have another thing to talk about, and that is we've been telling you that we're going to be building a new office soon. I'm finally going to be able to share with you a rendition of what that office is going to look like coming up. I'm going to show you, this is our new Skyline office. This is going to be located at 205th and Veterans Road, and we plan on opening this in 2022. Of course, construction is a pain right now, so bear with us, but we're very excited to have this office. It is located in Elkhorn, and again, we're calling that our Skyline office. So I hope you enjoyed that. A little bit about the office spaces. I'm going to make something a little bit more formal later, so that when new agents join the company, they have this. But the other thing, so that's it talking about the office spaces. But I wanted to talk about a few other things. When we formed this company at the very beginning, we started something called Agents Teaching Agents. We early on knew that we needed a training program for the agents that were here. We looked at hiring trainers, we looked at what our options were. Well, we realized quickly that we already had really amazing talent right here within our company. So we created Agents Teaching Agents, which, as you all know, is kind of like a master class. It's camaraderie, it's help, it's teaching each other, and it's been wildly successful. And actually, during this coronavirus, it's actually been a lifeblood for us. Well, about later last year, Carol Sousa and I started taking over the new agent and mentoring program. And we've done experiments, we've done all sorts of things. And then what we've been doing is Wednesdays at noon, we have been having a mentor class. This is new agents and experienced agents. And we've been doing it for about 3 months, and we're getting our legs going. This class has turned out to be absolutely fantastic. It's very much like Agents Teaching Agents, but it's geared towards the new agents. It's geared towards the new agents or the agents that have questions. Some of them have mentors, some of them don't. And we're finally ready to put some teeth behind it. And so we are officially calling this now, okay, there goes my screen again, Agents Mentoring Agents. So now our class on Wednesdays is called Agents Mentoring Agents. You can go to that URL, which is agentsmentoringagents.com, just like Agents Teaching Agents. We invite you to join us. Carol, I'd love Carol to talk about this for a moment, but we want the people to join us because this is not just new agents, it's experienced agents, mentors, and so on. So Carol, do you have a few thoughts on this?
It's just amazing how it's come together. It's kind of like the baseball field. You build it and they'll come. And COVID last year allowed Tim and I to kind of go in the tank and start thinking about this and putting it together from a place of exactly what he said, taking all the talent that we have and utilizing that, and how do we share that talent with the new agents, because that's where they get a tremendous amount of their training, plus the technical training that we offer and the training from our brand training. If you add all those things together and then put the people to people, it becomes Agents Mentoring Agents. And we are just almost completed with our first 12-week cycle. And I think from the feedback we've gotten from the new agents, it's been quite successful, and they have been baptism by fire, immersed in it. Between that and the mentors, and the other thing I wanted to say was about the mentors. The mentors have volunteered, and they just show up on the meetings, and these meetings have gotten to be, like Tim said, as powerful as what Agents Teaching Agents has become. So I'm thrilled with how you guys have all created it. Like, we had the idea and then you created it. So now giving it a birth name
Exactly.
and a logo is the cherry on top of the sundae. So
please, thank you, Carol. So for everybody out there, please start watching. You'll see the in our regular monthly email, you'll see what the subject is for Agents Teaching Agents, but you'll also see the subject for Agents Mentoring Agents. And we welcome you, experienced as well as new agents, to join us and chime in. Yes, these classes are designed for new agents, going over the purchase agreement, going over the open house, but as well as I do, a lot of experienced agents need that as well. By the way, we have been recording these since they started. So you can go into our YouTube channel, just like Agents Teaching Agents, just like everything else. You can see the videos that we've created, and you can see the discussion groups that we've created. I'm probably not going to sit through all those, but we're recording everything and publishing it there. So very exciting. So thank you for that. Two more things to talk about. One, I'm going to turn the floor over to our friend Lisa Zimmerman for just a moment. We have a friend within our company by the name of Brian Littler. A lot of you may not know Brian Littler. He's been with us for a while. A great guy, and he's one of our agents that could use some help. So I'm going to give Lisa Zimmerman the floor just to talk for a moment. Lisa, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep.
Good morning. Thanks, Tim. So as Tim mentioned, Brian has been with the company for quite a while. There's definitely probably quite a few people that maybe don't know him or have just seen us interact over email. So Brian primarily does commercial real estate and somewhat a little bit of work in the condo market as well in the past. We started working together on some commercial projects back in 2018. I enlisted his help. I had some opportunities come up. And since that time, we've been working together quite a bit. In 2019, he started having some health issues. And I would notice on one of our warehouse tours that we would do, he couldn't do the stairs anymore. And he didn't quite know what was going on. Well, in September of 2019, he actually got diagnosed with ALS. And he's been, dealing with it and living with it since that time and been doing pretty well. He's at a point right now where he hasn't been probably able to drive for a year. And he's just needing some more help in his home. And I still work with Brian very closely. We do a lot of commercial transactions, leasing. I'm kind of his avatar, if you will, is what he likes to call me. But so he's still very active, but in the last month, I would say his health has kind of suffered a little bit more. So I talked to his wife, Vicky, last night, and I just wanted to do something on a larger scale. And so I just said, Vicky, what do you guys need right now? And there's quite a bit through the ALS Foundation that they've had their bathroom modified and they're being taken care of pretty well in that aspect. He is working with, now they're having someone come into his home every day, but she said that the biggest thing that would help them out is, meals have been kind of a challenge. So she said DoorDash, and actually just visits too. If anyone does know Brian, weekends work really well and he's still able, to see people. And if you know anything about ALS, your mind is completely functional. It's just your body is no longer responding to what your mind wants it to do. So he's not walking right now. He's still emailing and he can use voice to text pretty well. But I'm going to put it in the chat and I can send out an email too. But if anyone wants to donate to, buy gift cards to DoorDash, I can give you Vicky's email address and that would be really helpful for him. And as it goes along this year, if there's more things that I think might be helpful as a company, if anyone would be willing to, I will keep everyone in the loop. So thanks, Tim, for giving me the floor.
Thank you, and thanks for your help. I love Brian. I miss him. I only have one more thing to say, and then we can go on to the pre-recorded sales meeting. And that is, as we all know, the market right now is insanely stupid crazy. And we are seeing home inspections are down like 50%. By some of them. I mean, people are skipping home inspections left and right. I'm not going to go into the weeds talking about whether or not you should or should not have home inspections. I'm just here to tell you that we highly, highly recommend if your buyer chooses to not have a home inspection, that you have them sign an addendum that we are putting in the in.loop by the end of the day. It's modeled after the old 4-year protection, get a home inspection. Remember that FHA document? Similar to that. It's just saying that it's in your best interest to get a home inspection and that you have had that option. It's not a required document. It's a heavily, we think you really should use it. And that'll be in .loop by the end of the day. So I don't have anything else to say. If anybody has any questions or anything, speak up now. Otherwise, this part of the meeting is done. And then the moment I hang up, I will send an email out to the whole company so that you have the link to go to the pre-recorded sales meeting. And if you all want to, you can just go straight to the goodlifegrowroom.com, which is our YouTube channel. And it's already there under sales meetings. So anybody have any questions? Anything they want to talk about? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay. So have a great St. Patrick's Day. And I'm going to send the link out to the pre-recorded part right now. See you later, everybody.
Hello, agents, and welcome to our March virtual sales meeting again. And actually, this time it is the anniversary of our very first recorded sales meeting. Last year we had a leprechaun, a singing leprechaun. We won't be having that this year. And I'm refraining from wearing a wig because, you know, I'm going to try to keep it really more professional here. We'll try. However, we do have some fun stuff for you, as we always do. And ta-da! Check out this great new space. So Matt and Kim Bills have been working really hard to put all of this together for us. So there are 2 different spots that you can actually shoot in, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But it's a really great space. It's in the basement of Dundee, and we will have the scheduling piece to it because I do think that it will be pretty popular once we start rolling with and people get used to having an actual space to do professional style recordings. So again, there are 2 spaces that I think that you've already seen little snippets and previews of that Matt's been posting. And it's really cool because it's all set up and it will stay here. You don't have to prep, you don't have to create your own. It's all here and ready for you to use. There's also equipment here. So we will have some just kind of basic instructionals because some of those pieces you do have to make sure that turn on the lights, change them. There's adjusting pieces if you'd like, and there's different ways that you can basically utilize the space to really provide some very high quality social media and video posts for you. And so it is our favorite time of year. It's March. The weather is starting to improve, although it's kind of an up and down. This is our bipolar month. So it could be hot, it could be cold, it could be snowing, it could be sleeting, we could have a tsunami, I don't know, we'll see. But that also means that more and more transactions are hitting the books and you guys are out and about with more clients, more listings, and really pounding the pavement, doing all that hard work. So I know it's been a crazy spring. Inventory is so tight. So you guys are coming up with some really creative ways to get those listings in hand and get your buyers into homes. But I do want to mention that as we see an increase in the transactions, we do want to make sure that you are aware that sometimes commissions can take a little bit longer to process, not because of our side, but sometimes it can take a little bit longer when title companies or other brokerages are backed up with the amount of volume of transactions that come through. So we have an awesome staff for commissions, as you guys know. Eden and Alex really bust their tails, making sure that you get paid the same day that we get the check. So just keep in mind that if you are on the listing side, you will absolutely get those checks a lot quicker. And if you are on the buy side, sometimes it can take a little bit longer because it needs to go through other brokerages or if the title companies if it's, other than Green Title, taking a little bit longer. So if you are interested in getting your check faster, you can use an addendum to request that the commission bypass the listing brokerage and go directly to Better Homes and Gardens. Now, there are some brokerages in town that don't agree to that, so just keep that in mind that it's just because you're putting that together and asking for that, you might not always get it, but it can speed up the process and get things approved and moved along quicker so that you can get paid quicker. Now, the other thing to keep in mind too is that to get paid the quickest, we need to have your transactions paperwork fully completed. There are a lot of times that when we get busy, sometimes the paperwork can kind of slide to the back end. So we want to make sure that we get you paid. So fill out those escrow sheets, make sure that you're adding those commission percentages. If there are any special switches to that or changes from what the original listing or paperwork was, then please notate that and send a message because we would love to avoid as many errors as possible and by having just the correct paperwork. So also if you're getting phone calls from us or dot loop messages or us just feeling like we're pestering you, that's because we have something that we need, or you have something that we need in order to get your commission processed. So keep in mind, that's what we're doing. We're calling, we're emailing, we're texting. If Alex or Eden calls you, pick up the phone quick because they do want to get you paid. If you have any questions, feel free to give me or Tom a call. Also, if you have any questions about commissions, feel free to message and reach out to Eden and Alex, but just please be aware that they are busier too. So they're doing their best to get back to you as soon as possible. And again, they really bust their tails to try to get you paid same day. So just keep in mind that they are busy and they are really working towards you. So if you have any questions or need anything, you can reach out to them. Just give them a little bit of grace and leeway right now in the level of busyness because they're just as busy as you are. All right, so we're going into our third month of our newsletter template. We have gotten a lot of really great feedback and a lot of you are using it, and which is wonderful. So we have a template each month for you that comes out towards the end of the month that you can customize through Canva, and that will be coming out actually soon. So keep an eye out for that. But just wanted you to keep in mind that we are taking all of your feedback and your suggestions, and we do want to try to appeal to the most agents as best as we can. So some of those small customizations we are taking into consideration and we are trying to implement as much as possible, but sometimes it just doesn't quite fit what we have already in place. But rest assured, we are listening, we are paying attention. We know there are different things with papers, with printing, with colors, with where the postage is and how you send it out. So all of those things we're taking note of as well. So just keep kind of playing around with those. And we appreciate all of your understanding as we're working out any kinks with that. As with anything new, sometimes there are just things that need to be ironed out. So we appreciate your patience with that. The other thing that I wanted to just make a quick note about with the newsletters, it's come up a few times, is that we cannot post another person's listings. And that, I know we get a lot of pushback and a lot of questions, because the thing about our industry is that we see mailings and we see emails come across and we see newsletters and we see postcards that are being delivered to our house that has exactly what we're not supposed to be doing. It has a list of all of the most recent transactions that have either sold in the neighborhood or that agent has sold. But technically we cannot do that. That's both from an MLS OABR capacity and also from license law. So there are some differentiations about what you can and can't do, and each of those entities have different things. But at the end of the day, you cannot post anyone else's listings. That's even if you get permission from the listing agent. It really has to be from the homeowner if you're going to be able to post that. So that's where it can get really dicey and really tricky. Now, on the other hand, we still see agents that prefer to do that and take their chances. We don't recommend that, but it's my job to make sure that you know what you can and can't do. And if you are taking the risk, that's your decision. We're never going to interfere with your business. But if we see some of those things, we will reach out to you and let you know that, hey, just an FYI, per XYZ, this is not allowed. And then you can have your choice as to whether or not you'd like to proceed with that. However, we are always going to stick with what the black and white is in the law books and with guidelines with the MLS. So just keep that in mind, that if we're reaching out to you, it's not that we're picking on you. It's just that we really want to keep you out of real estate commission jail, and we want to keep you from getting fined for things too. So if you have any questions, I know that there has been a lot also with logos, advertising, broker prominence, all of those real estate commission guidelines there. And then also with these listings that have come up too. So feel free to reach out to me anytime if you have any questions on what you can and can't advertise, post, or promote. Earlier this month, Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate hosted what they call Fusion, and that is a conference where they bring in the best of the best throughout the nation and give all of their wise words of wisdom. There was a lot of projections and anticipations that we can see over the next year or so, and then also some really great breakout classes about agent-based, brokerage-based, all sorts of learning opportunities within that. And don't worry if you couldn't catch all of them. Those will be recorded and the PowerPoint sent out. So keep an eye out for that. I don't have an ETA just yet on when those videos will be available, but as soon as they are, we will be sure to send them to you. And they will be able to be accessed through the Greenhouse and the Better University. So can't wait to do some catching up on some of those that I couldn't attend. And also there were some really great ones that I was able to kind of pop onto. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of the new stuff and philosophies and tips and tricks, especially considering kind of our current state with our inventory and just kind of coming out of our crazy 2020. So there's a lot of really good and new information there. And I always love it when I hear agents that come back to me and say, wow, were you on this one that said XYZ? And I said, nope, but I will. Absolutely. And that's a great point. I love what they're saying, and I'm going to dig into it more. So there is some really good stuff. We did have some participation from the brokerage as well. So we always love to see that. So if you have any questions, just let me know, but those will be posted out hopefully within the next month or so. You just never know. However, if you had signed up for Apex, which was this last fall, which was the agent retreat, that was also via conference. Those are still available in the Greenhouse in Be Better University. And so you can still access all of those old videos with PowerPoints and information too. So you can kind of get the best of both worlds. You can pick and choose based on what's already posted from really about 6 months ago, and then wait for what's going to come out soon. Well, I know all of you have been waiting for quite possibly the biggest contest prize winning of the year, which is guessing how much is in the jar. We have a lot of good, really awesome Irish themed prizes because St. Patty's Day, why not? So the fun part was that you got to guess how much money is in the jar. And you guys, Lisa said it was heavy earlier. I was like, oh my God, this is like 1,200 pounds of coinage right here.
It's all nickels.
All nickels.
Pretty much.
All right. Well, I think that we should announce winners and see who are lucky prize winners. There might be one of these missing from one of those. I don't know. You might have.
The leprechaun likes the Jameson, so sorry.
That one might be open and half gone.
Only a little.
Don't worry about it. We Cloroxed it afterwards.
Exactly. And the alcohol, it killed everything else. So in first place, we have $156.97 in this jar. I hope those pennies threw some of you off.
That's
only 7 pennies in there.
Whoa.
$156.97.
That's
and I had to count it all by hand.
heavy.
So in first place, we have Mary Livingston. You get $156.97 plus this great jar. You were off by $13.97.
All right.
Your guess was $143. Jerry Albers, you get this lovely basket. You guessed $172.25. You were off by $21.95. And Sylvia
Poutre.
there we go. Your guess was $850.50. Cue sad whistle slide sounds because you were off by $693.53. You need your lucky charms because you didn't have any.
It's your consolation prize is the Lucky Charms.
Consolation prize. Yum.
Let's do it.
All right.
Thank you guys so much. This is always fun trying to get together and come up with at least somewhat entertaining and also valuable sales meetings for you. So next month we have some really interesting and fun things in mind. So I think that you'll really like to see what's in store. So we are hoping to see you in the offices. Things are starting to open back up, and keep an eye out for our in-person meetings. You guys answered in the surveys that you are ready to get back into the offices for events and training. So we are working on a lot of those things for you.
Hello, everybody. Happy Green Week. Thank you for tuning in. This is Kelly. I hope you guys are all enjoying St. Patrick's Day and the festivities of St. Patrick's Week. I just wanted to take this opportunity to give you a mini overview of relocation and what it means in all terms of the word, and why it is important to you as real estate agents. Now, for those of you who aren't on the relocation team, you may be wondering why you need to know this information, and I'm going to tell you why. So first of all, what is relocation exactly? Well, in the most basic sense of the word, it just means moving to a new place and establishing residency or business in a new place. And it usually refers to one moving farther than just across town. It's not just upsizing or downsizing. It's usually moving to a new city, state, or even a new country. So for your customers, it usually means uprooting and moving to a new area they probably have never lived before. As a real estate agent, what this means for you is a couple of things. Either one, if the customer is moving for their own personal reasons, it could mean the potential for you to not only sell their house here or find them a house if the customer is moving to our area, but it also gives you the opportunity for an outgoing referral, which you hear us talk about a lot. That's if the customer needs to sell or buy a house in another market, you can refer that customer out to an agent in another market and earn part of the commission as an outgoing referral. Essentially, you're turning yourself into a mini referral company. So, okay, so there's the first thing that relocation can mean for you. The other thing relocation means is Number two, if the customer is being relocated by their employer or future employer, they may be receiving relocation benefits or a relocation package from their employer, meaning their employer is either paying for their moving costs or the customer is getting some other kind of benefit for moving for work purposes. On the relocation team, we deal with these situations a lot. Employers hire relocation companies to handle the logistics, rules, and regulations for employee transfers. The main relocation company we work with is Cardis, and we are a preferred brokerage for Cardis, and they send us relocation customers, and we have on our team certified relocation agents who work these referrals and are trained and experienced with them. There are certain rules and regulations we have to adhere to when dealing with relocation customers and relocation companies, which is why relocation companies prefer to work with certified brokers and agents. However, you may run into this even if you're not on the relocation team, and it is important you know what to do when this happens so that one, you don't jeopardize your customer's benefits, and two, so you don't lose the customer altogether to another agent or brokerage, which this has happened in the past. Agents who didn't act quick enough have lost customers to other brokerages or other agents. So make sure you act fast if you have a relocation customer. So for example, say you have a friend that you've known since second grade, right? And he all of a sudden gets promoted at his job and is moving across the country, and he calls you to sell his house. Okay, great. You have a new potential listing, right? Sad that your friend is moving, but good that you have a listing. So you start talking to him about the move, and then he tells you his company is providing relocation benefits for him. This is a red flag. If you hear this, be sure to do a few things. Ask your friend or customer which relocation company his employer hired him to work with. Is it Cardis, Serva, Ayers, Global Mobility Services, NEI Global Relocation, which is here in Omaha? It could be one of many. There are many relocation companies out there. Your customer may or may not know at this point who their relocation company is, and that is okay. But if he does, great. Get the name of the relocation company and also the relocation consultant, which is his contact person for that relocation company, and write it down. Note it down so you know. And then two, tell your friend, your customer, that your brokerage is certified to work with any relocation company, and make sure he tells this to his relocation consultant. Otherwise, that relocation company might tell him he can only work with their preferred brokerage or agents, which is not true. We are a certified relocation brokerage, and I have not come across a situation yet where they've told me we cannot work with the customer. Not saying it's 100% guaranteed, but I have not been denied yet. So there's that. Make sure your customer knows you can work with them in this relocation sale. Okay. And then three, as soon as you get done talking with your friend or customer, call me right away. Okay. Kelly Lamontagne, relocation director for Better Homes and Gardens, the Good Life Group. I will need to get the relocation agreements and instructions from their relocation company they are working with. This will also confirm their commitment to working with you as the real estate agent. If not, remember, we could lose them. So let's do all of this to ensure we keep the customer. All right, now number 4, you've probably heard out there somewhere about the referral fees for relocation. And yes, there are fees you have to pay out of your commission when you work a relocation file. This is true even if the customer is not necessarily referred to you in a sense. In reality, these fees aren't exactly referral fees, but should probably just be called relocation fees because that's what they are. mainly because we have to pay these fees to the relocation company in order to keep the customer and for the customer to receive their benefits. Okay, so even though your customer may have been your friend since second grade and was always going to use you as their real estate agent, okay, well, this may be true. But since he's going through a relocation process with his company, then guess what? The actual client, who is the one who's paying for the move and essentially paying your commission, is now the employer, okay? Not your friend, the employer. So you kind of have to think of it that way. The employer is now the client, and your friend or customer is now referred to as the transferee, as they call it in relocation. So your friend is now kind of the pawn in the process, though it'd be a very important pawn, but still the employer is the one who hired the relocation company to handle the details and logistics of the benefits. Therefore, the employer is now the client. So yes, you do have to pay a relocation split to the relocation company working with the customer. There's no getting out of it. And usually the relocation fees are somewhere between about 35 to 42%, depending on the relocation company. Okay, so there's that. So now that you've secured the customer, there are other things you need to know. The reason relocation companies prefer to work with relocation brokerages and certified relo agents is to ensure a smooth process and to make sure nothing is jeopardized for the transferee's benefits. There are certain things that can or cannot be said. There are extra documents and addendums that need to be completed and signed. There are also certain documents that can only be signed by one party and not the other, as in the case of an amended sale. So one thing to note, there are many relocation packages out there, and some are custom packages, and all of them have tax implications to the employee and the employer. So it is imperative to treat these with close attention to detail and to work closely with me and the relocation consultant from the relocation company. And that's who is basically the SME, or the subject matter expert, the guru for that relocation package the customer is receiving. Also, there are many relocation companies out there, and they each do things a little differently. So we have to pay attention to how they want things done, okay? Now, this all sounds a bit overwhelming, but once you've been through the process, it's not as intimidating anymore. You just have to make sure you know the rules and you do what the relocation company requires. So that is a high-level overview of relocation and the different definitions and references of the word when it comes to real estate. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me, Kelly Lamontagne. There's no such thing as a dumb question. I've asked many of them myself, so it's okay, ask away. Thank you for tuning in to our green themed meeting. We here at Better Homes love the color green, don't we? We have green couches, we have green decorations, we wear green. And what is the one green thing that we all love? I think the one green thing that everybody loves. I'll give you a hint. It's related to outgoing referrals. It's money. And I have 3 lucky leprechauns who have earned mail money by closing on outgoing referrals in this past month. So let me announce these 3 lucky mail money recipients. The first one is, dun, 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 congratulations to Kathy Shunk. Kathy has another outgoing referral that closed. She is raking it in. This time she's receiving a check for $878.85. Congratulations to Kathy. Next, we have Marlon Okoreki. Congratulations, Marlon. He's receiving a check for $1,855.71. Way to go, Marlon. Last but not least, we have Amber Barr. Woo, look at that check. She is receiving a check for $2,301.75. That is amazing. Congratulations, Amber. Well, who else wants to earn mail money? If you would like to do this and earn money for yourself, just submit your outgoing referrals at referbettereveryday.com or you can download the new Agent Exchange app on your mobile phone. All right, guys. Well, that is all I have for you today. Congratulations to all the lucky winners and happy Leprechaun Day.